those without power, those who these corporations deem to be ordinary, are cast aside like human refuse. It is what the God of the market demands. When Dante entered the city of woes in the Inferno, he heard the cries of those whose lives earned neither honor nor bad fame, those rejected by heaven and hell, those who dedicated their lives solely to the pursuit of happiness. These are all the good people, the ones who never made a fuss, who filled their lives with vain and empty pursuits, harmless perhaps, to amuse themselves, who never took a stand for anything, never risked anything, who went along. They never looked hard at their lives, never felt the need, never wanted to look. Those who chase the glittering rainbows of the consumer society, who buy into the perverted ideology of the consumer culture, become, as Dante knew, moral cowards. They are indoctrinated by corporate systems of information and remain passive as our legislative, executive, and judicial branches of government, tools of the corporate state, strip us of the capacity to resist. Democrat or Republican, liberal or conservative, it makes no difference now. Barack Obama serves corporate interests as assiduously as did George W. Bush.
Yep. Yes, he does. Yes, he does.
And to place our faith in any party or established institution as a mechanism for reform is to be entranced by the celluloid shadows on the wall of Plato's cave. We must defy the cant of consumer culture and recover the primacy in our lives of mercy and justice. And this requires courage, not just physical courage, but the harder moral courage of listening to our conscience. If we are to save our country and finally our planet, we must turn from exalting the self to subsuming the self for our neighbor. Self-sacrifice defies the sickness of corporate ideology. Self-sacrifice mocks opportunities for advancement, money, and power. Self-sacrifice smashes the idols of greed and envy. It demands that we rise up against the abuse, injury, and injustice forced upon us by the mandarins of corporate power. There is a profound truth embodied in the biblical admonition: he who loves his life will lose it. Life is not only about us, and we can never have justice until our neighbor has justice.
Yep.
We can never recover our freedom until we are willing to sacrifice our comfort for open rebellion. The president has failed us. The Congress has failed us. The courts have failed us. The press has failed us. The universities have failed us. Our process of electoral democracy has failed us. There are no structures or institutions left that have not been contaminated or destroyed by corporations, and this means that it is now up to us. Civil disobedience, which will entail hardship and suffering, which will be long and difficult, which at its core means self-sacrifice, is the only mechanism left. The bankers and hedge fund managers, the corporate and governmental elites are the modern version of the misguided Israelites who prostrated themselves before the golden calf. The sparkle of wealth glitters before them, spurring them faster and faster on the treadmill towards destruction, and they seek to make us worship at their altar. As long as greed inspires us, greed keeps us complicit and silent. But once we defy the religion of unfettered capitalism, once we demand a society that serves the needs of citizens and protects the ecosystem rather than serving the needs of the marketplace, once we learn to speak with a new humility and live with a new simplicity, Once we love our neighbor as ourself, we will break our chains and we will make hope visible. Thank you.